I just don't understand. Such an interesting time we live in, isn't it? The downward spiral that is YouTube never ceases to amaze me. As pointed out, every year YouTube becomes more of a dumpster fire. This new update, that is certainly the case. So this little update video is being brought to you guys. I don't even know what am I doing at this point? I don't know what I'm doing. This has been brought to my attention by ETN, who I have seen. He's been making videos about this a lot recently, Rob. He's been doing live streams about this topic for a couple days now, and I'm surprised that, yeah, he was one of the first people I've seen hop on this. And I did a lot of research on this when he was doing his live streams about this over the weekend, and it's certainly interesting, but I don't know, I don't understand. It's a weird situation that we're in, right? So Rob's been making videos about this whole Coppa thing, the Coppocalypse. Is that what they're calling it? The Copocalypse? Coppa? Is that how you say it? Coppa or Coppa? I don't know. But he's been making videos on that, and basically what it is, for those of you who don't know, and you're gonna see a lot of content creators making videos like this coming up because everyone is having to deal with this. Coppa, which is like this commission to protect children privacy on the internet. There are a bunch of boomers who don't quite understand how the internet works, so they sued YouTube for collecting data on children for child use of videos, and that spiraled out of control because no one really knows where to put the blame. I'll tell you where to put the blame. You put the blame on bad parenting, because it seems like nowadays parents don't mean anything. They've become obsolete. It is now apparently everyone else's job to parent your kids for you because you're too stupid to do it yourself. That's what I'm gathering. I'll explain what I mean by that because I know I have some parent viewers, some viewers who are parents of kids who might get offended by that. I don't mean that you're actually a bad parent. I'm not saying that if you have a kid, you're just automatically a bad parent nowadays. What I'm saying is that's the way you're treated. You're treated like you don't mean anything. You're treated like you're automatically out of the equation. Like that's how laws like this treat parents. It treats parents as if they have no knowledge, no awareness of anything. It treats them like they aren't there. It treats the kid like they're their own entity, and the person they're interacting with, or the website, I should say, the website they're interacting with as its own entity as well. So it's only the kid and the website in the equation. There is no parent anymore in the eyes of the law. That's what I mean. So I'm not trying to offend any parents out there. You're probably not a bad parent. Hopefully you're not. I don't know. I don't really know you, but hopefully you're not. With this policy in particular, it's a very easy example to explain that ideology, right? You'd think a parent is responsible for what their kid does. You'd think that. You'd think a parent should take some responsibility in protecting their kid or letting their kid do what the kid's gonna do. It's up to the parents, right? They get to consent for the kid. You know, that's how it works in the actual world. Your parent gets to consent for you if you're a kid and you didn't know that. Your parent consents to things for you. So you'd think that when a parent lets a child use the internet and use YouTube, that's on the parent. But apparently no, that's on me, the content creator, like somehow I'm the one at fault, right? That's basically what this is. Of course, Google and YouTube and all these other websites, they interact with each other. Everyone knows this. If you don't know that, where have you been? You're living under a rock. They all interact with each other. That's how we get interest-based ads. That's why if you're you ever notice when you need colored pencils, right? If you're an artist, you need a new set of colored pencils, and then all of a sudden you get an ad for colored pencils, and you're like, wow, how did it know I needed colored pencils? This is how every website interacts with each other. They all know what you're interested in. They all know what you want. That's how that works, is all these websites communicate, but that's a bad thing, I guess. Not really, but I guess it's a bad thing for children. How dare websites track the search history of children and monitor that? You know, if you don't want your child searching something they shouldn't be searching, maybe you get your child off the goddamn internet. That's an idea. But basically, this FTC, they freaked out about this, right? And they sued YouTube because YouTube runs targeted ads. And YouTube runs targeted ads on videos geared towards children. What this new policy is they can't do that. And that's really detrimental to creators on YouTube because targeted ads are a huge source of income. from. If you don't know this, the difference between a non-targeted ad and a targeted ad is about 90% of your ad revenue is gone when you make that change, because advertisers will pay more if they know that ad is being targeted. So they're going to pay more to target the ad rather than paying just to release the ad on a wide scale, because they know if the ad's targeted, it's going towards people who it will apply to. So they have more of a likelihood to get what they want from that ad. That's a bit of the backstory as to what's going on. So there is none of that anymore. You can't do that on children's content, which is where the FTC came in and they sued YouTube. It's an official lawsuit. It's the FTC, the bunch of boomers who don't really understand what the hell they're doing, because I guess they think that it's my fault that you're a bad parent. If you're a parent and you let your kid use the internet, you know the risk. You know what your kid's doing. You know what the internet is. You should, at the very least. You shouldn't let your kid do something you don't know what they're doing. I don't know. It just really annoys me, because it's like the blame is on me, right? You know, and by me, I mean all the content creators, like the blame is on us when it isn't. It's on the parents for not parenting. And the FTC puts the blame on us. So the FTC, they sued YouTube, an official lawsuit. YouTube handled it poorly by basically being like, the way we'll do this is by putting all the pressure on the content creator. So now it's up to the content creator to register their channels and every video they upload as either child-friendly or not child-friendly. And the definition of a child, according to YouTube themselves, is anyone under 13 in the United States. I guess that's according to the United States government. I've not heard that definition, but sure. And so that's what we're looking at, okay? That's what we're dealing with here. So any video made for someone under 13, that video now is considered child-friendly and is basically not allowed to advertise. No monetization on their channel. The way they determine who falls into that category, that's where things become really mucky, because it's up to the FTC's discretion. They've hired, what, like 100,000 people somewhere in the world to review your videos and decide whether your video is in fact child-friendly or isn't child-friendly. And if they decide that it is child-friendly, then your video loses all monetization. And if your video has been miscategorized, if you decide, like if I decide my videos are not meant for children, which is what I have decided, my videos are not meant for children, and then they decide that my videos are meant for children, I can get fined up to $42,000, right? That's what it is? That's absurd. $42,000? I'm pretty sure that's what the charge was. It's a lot of money. So that's what's going on, and that's per video, per miscategorized video. So YouTube just sent out the email today saying that we need to register our channels as made for kids or not, which is why I'm making this video, because now that they're officially enacting that, I'm making this video in defense of my channel, saying that I am not making videos for kids. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not. One of the determining factors in deciding if your video is made for kids or not is if your video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children.
When deciding whether or not your channel or video is made for kids, you should think about factors like the subject matter of your video, whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand, and any other information you may have to help determine your video's audience.
Well, all toys appeal to children, even though a kid's not going to be able to afford an SH Monster Arts or an X Plus figure. And characters, you could say because Godzilla has mass appeal, Godzilla appeals towards children, Godzilla is a child's character. I would disagree with you. I would say that Godzilla is a character that appeals to children, but is made for adults. Godzilla is a character made for adults, as indicated by the franchise's history. The original movie was not made for kids. Things did not gear towards children until the 70s, and that was the only point in the entire franchise history when they were geared towards children. So yeah, the big gray area as to what's going on there. Just to prove that my videos aren't made for kids, here's how my demographics break down. The demographic category for people 13 to 17 years old, this is the youngest category YouTube collects data for. That category counts for 8.1% of my viewers. Only 8.1% of my viewers are in the youngest category. It's not my lowest demographic technically. 65 plus, which is 1.6 of my viewership, is smallest demographic, with my second smallest being from 55 to 64, being 3.2% of my viewers. The primary source of my viewership comes from people 18 to 24 years old, making up 27.2% of my viewers, and 25 to 34, making up 30.7% of my viewership. Next up is 35 to 44, making up 19% of my viewership. That means that 76.9% of my viewers fall between the age range of 18 to 44 years old. That doesn't sound like children to me. The point that I'm trying to make here is that the vast majority of my audience is not 13 or younger at all. In fact, the majority of my audience isn't even 17 or younger, so you can't sit here and tell me that my videos are made for kids, because they're not. I find this just so interesting because because of course my videos could be considered child friendly. I don't swear a lot. In fact, I don't really swear at all. And I don't do things that are too crude. So, I mean, my videos are generally safe. They're family friendly is what I would say. They're not geared towards children. Godzilla, of course, being a figure that has mass appeal, could be seen as a child's character, but also isn't, because he isn't. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. I could try and make my content real edgy and go complete opposite of what I currently do. I mean, still make the same Godzilla videos, but in terms of my presentation, go a full 180 into like leafy territories for the Godzilla community. It's turned into the Nerf man of the Godzilla community again, because he's gone. But I can't really do that because YouTube doesn't let channels that are too edgy monetize themselves, right? You can't be edgy and get monetization anymore, that you get demonetized. But now also you can't be child friendly and still monetize your channel either. So you can no longer be on either end of the spectrum. You can no longer be child friendly and you can no longer be edgy. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with that little gray zone that Tony Stark was talking about in Spider-Man, you know? That's where we are supposed to operate now. That little gray zone where you make videos that are not supposed to be geared towards kids but also aren't edgy. How do you do that? One thing I know for certain is that PG-13 movies are geared towards people above the age of 13, right? That's what the point of the PG-13 rating is, for people above the age of 13, okay? And I know that in PG-13 movies, you get to say fuck at least once. Actually, I think you can only say it once. And if you use it in a sexual connotation, then you're rated R. So I think from now on, I'm just gonna gear my channel towards PG-13 content because I gotta make sure that I don't get fined $42,000. That's absurd. I can't believe what YouTube has become. This might be the dumbest update to ever hit us. The dumbest policy update. I'm sorry for those of you who are like, yeah, I love D-Man's channel because he prides himself on being channel friendly or family friendly. I know, I agree. I do pride myself on that, but I can't, I can't do that anymore without paying $42,000. This is my job. This is my source of income. So I just have to go with it. I have to adapt with the times. And I apologize if you're not down with that. What the hell is happening? All right, see you guys. D-Man out.